How's it going, guys? What I wanted to do today in this video is to talk about where we are being failed tremendously by the courts. Earlier today, the Supreme Court decided to not hear any of the 10 Second Amendment cases that were up before it. They basically sidestepped it. There's a couple of the justices that are very upset that the courts would not take a stand on that and would not hear a Second Amendment issue. But the Second Amendment is only one of many ways that the court is significantly failing us. Another way, perfect example, with all of the stuff that's going on lately, calls for police reform and things like that, we need to ask ourselves how we got to this point in the first place. If you look into the philosophy of qualified immunity, which that is what the police operate under, you're going to see that it is the courts which have expanded that to where basically bad cops cannot be held accountable. In general, I support the police when they follow the law. I have friends that are police officers, and with all this going on, I've actually written a personal note to each of them individually, just to show my support for them. They are friends of mine. But there are bad cops out there. They'll tell you that there's bad cops out there. Just like Clint Smith said, if you have 100 people go to orthopedic school to become orthopedic surgeons, somebody comes in last. That's just how things are. But the courts are the ones that have really expanded that to where bad cops cannot be held accountable. And that's one of many examples. The failures in that area and protecting the public, the failures of the courts to protect our Second Amendment rights as well as others. We really need a restructuring, not only of the way law enforcement is done in this country, but I really think that we need a restructuring of the entire judicial system. There are cases that linger in courts for decades. Sometimes. Look how long it took for the Heller case to get through the Supreme Court and for the Supreme Court to hear it. Look how long that law was in effect, in Washington. And, it took a tremendous amount of pressure from a lot of people before they would even hear that case. And got some traffic coming down the road, so just kind of look over it. But we really need to look at the entire judicial system. Even in civil cases, I know of civil cases where, those linger in court for years. I know of a couple of cases that have been in court for no less than 5 years. One is literally stuck within the hands of a judge, and I know of the lawyer has applied for some kind of relief on that. I don't really know the details of the people involved. All the details of that I'm not real sure of, but I do know a little bit about what's going on with it. But some of these cases are just lingering in the courts. I know of a company that was sued by employees or former employees that has been in the courts for over 4 years and still no movement on it. Again, we see another failure in the courts. So I think that's where a lot of the problems are that we are having now. I think that the courts are something that need reshaping themselves. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is to put enough pressure on the politicians to actually take steps to reform not only the law enforcement community, but also the entire criminal justice system. That's something that we as a people can do. We can put the pressure on our elected representatives to do their job. That's what it amounts to. The courts are not the end all and say all of any type of issue out there. There's supposed to be 3 branches of government, and when any 2 come together, they can overrule the third. That's just how it was. You look up some of the early cases from the founding of this country, and you're going to see that very thing happening. Unfortunately, today, the politicians that we have do not have the political guts to do what they should do. They've been in office, most of them, for many decades, and that's the big part of the problem. They were up there forever, and nothing ever gets done. They keep promising they're going to fix things next time, and they never do. But, we really need to start getting involved ourselves in the political process. We need to be in touch with them. We need to write them letters, and we really need to address the problems that we have both with the courts and in the entire judicial system. But guys, this is just a little bit of a rambling video. Just a little bit frustrated today because of that, because, you know, the Second Amendment case before the courts and how it was ignored. All 10 of those cases were ignored, as well as everything else that's going on. And, you know, we are the ones that are responsible for controlling our government. And we need to step up, and we need to let our politicians know, our representatives know, that we're not going to put up with this, that we want things done the way they should be, or we're going to find people to replace them. You know, it's that simple. But anyways, guys, just a quick video, just a little bit of a rant video. Thanks for watching. Check out the links down in the description. Let me hear from you guys. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. But, you know, this is something that involves all of us. We'll see you next time, guys. Till then, stay safe.